Hello, welcome back, Richard Painter. Yeah, it's been a while, these videos, been very busy. Been away on a bit of an holiday. And then for the last week I felt knackered, so you kind of need a holiday to get over a holiday, don't you? So basically today, just a nice easy one. Hopefully you can see me now, and I'm just throwing my face in the camera. Triumph tr6, so we painted the car 2 or 3 years ago, I think, something like that. The guy's been looking for a good hard top. I can't remember what else he was doing with it now. Anyway, he found one, it's in good order. He's managed to find some bits and pieces for it, so we've had it in for repairs and to paint it so it matches the car. So I'll show you around. As you can see, we've had a few repairs on it. It was already red. It is going to be red again, just not a traditional Triumph colour. This one was painted differently. So the roof's had a few repairs. It's been painted a couple of times in the past. We didn't want to take the windows out because the rubbers are really good. The customer was happy, or more encouraged us to leave them in, because it's trying to find rubbers and trying to get them back in nicely and stuff like that. And sometimes this roof was actually really good, so it's not so bad. And most of these will live on a stand or in the... Well, hopefully you still got that. It just turned off for some reason now. I don't know. I keep forgetting this bloody camera and all, you see, and then I've remembered the camera, but then didn't remember my other batteries, so I've had to charge it up this morning before I've done this, and then take it from there, really. And I haven't put it on the tripod either, hence the camera angle's amazing, and most of it's at my face. So basically we've got some panel white. This is a solvent panel white. It's a slow panel white because we want it to get around it, and it's warmer at the moment, so during the winter, depending on your workshop conditions, you may want to use a faster version which will evaporate faster. It's summertime and we've got a luxury of a booth, so we don't need to worry about that. So basically I'm just going to spray it on. Now everybody will have their own way of doing it. It's a bit of controversy maybe. So when I do it, I like to drown it, go round it, and then basically do the same thing again. Some people like to spray a little bit on one area, rub it with one cloth and wipe it off with another cloth. And I suppose that is one way in doing it. And if you do that, then fair play to you. I just find, because this has been cleaned numerous times before, so I thought somebody was in. Because this has been cleaned numerous times before, we've already painted underneath, it's been cleaned again and again and again, blah blah blah. It's not massively necessary. But what I'll do is I'll get this cleaned up. I don't need to keep going on and show you, but just to give you an idea, even though it's been cleaned numerous times, it's always good to clean it again. But yeah, I'll get this organised and then I'll come back to you. Right, back again. Let's see where we are. Right, so what I've done, in fact I'll just double check I've actually done that. Excuse the camera again. Yeah, I have. Right, so I put the put you up there a minute. So I put the booth on. Yeah, I lost where I was now. Put the booth on, I've cleaned that roof, that's what we're doing. Try to remember what we're doing here. Just left it as well. Yeah, get rid of these, tidied up. So basically we've bought, or the customer supplied the paint for this job. Something dropped down there. So basically we've got a pre-mixed paint from the paint supplier. So I told him which paint supplier I use. He went down there and bought what he wanted. So that's made our life a bit easier today. So basically, with it being an older car, we're using solvent, base coat. Well, that's what he's bought anyway. Ordinarily I'd mix it myself, but ordered quite a lot here, and I've got 1.5 litres there, which is an awful lot. So basically we're just going to mix that. It's 2 to 1, so it's 2 parts. No, it's not. Sorry, it's 1 to 1. Equal parts of your thinner and your paint on this occasion. Always check your data sheets, TDS, technical data sheets. Always check them before you, because every paint's different. A lot of them use the same sorts of stuff, but you know, epoxy has its own thinner, its own hardener. This base coat I can use a normal thinner with, and that type of thing. Make sure you get the right hardener and stuff like that in your clear coats and in your primers, that type of thing. But always check if you're not sure. Don't be scared to ask, because if you get it wrong, it's expensive. Lots of people like to have a go, which is great. I'd always encourage people to have a go, but just make sure you've read what you should be doing and how you should be doing it, and then hopefully you don't have any problems, which will then cost you more money down the road. You get some people have done stuff themselves, spent all that money in a weekend doing it or whatever, and then it reacts or turns out horrible, and then you end up paying somebody else more money to take what you've put on off, and then just kind of do it sort of correctly, if you like. If that makes any sense. I know what I mean in my head. Have a go, but just try and know what you're doing. There we go. We'll get there with that. So this is a base coat and clear coat. So we're going to have to put all the colour on first, if you like, and then when that's on and dry, we can put our clear coat on, which is the shiny part at the end. Now everybody's different, so this is red. Red doesn't generally cover, depending on what scheme and what brand you're using, red doesn't particularly cover that well. Which is why you've seen I've used a slightly darker grey primer to like cover the repairs and seal the top in. Some people would use white and get it real bright, but we didn't use white on the car, so I don't want it being a shade out or something like that. So we're just trying to eliminate any potential whinges going forward or problems. You spend that long making sure you don't have a problem, it takes, and hopefully you don't, because it's very annoying when you do. So right, I'm waffling anyway while I'm mixing this paint here, aren't I, because the camera's on. So I'll turn that off, I'll get organised again, and I'll get back in there. Right, it's warm in here, so we're in the booth, hence the noise. I don't know if I can put you anywhere today or not. Can you fit in there? Can you see what I'm doing? Basically, I'm going to tackle this off now and start putting some base coat on. I'm probably going to put 3 or 4 coats on. The first layer, because I've got it quite warm, it's been preheated. The first layer I'll go on quite thin-ish, and then I'll put another coat on basically straight after. I'll let that flash, and then I'll do a similar sort of setup again for the next one. But yeah, we'll put a bit of base coat on and see what it looks like. hopefully you saw that a bit anyway. So it looked like it went on quite nice, so I'll put it on a bit heavier actually. After I've just said I was going to put it on a bit lighter, I'll put it on a bit heavier, so it looks alright. So basically I'm going to let that flash off for a little bit because I don't want to build up too much, because we haven't bare metaled that part. We've sealed it in, but because we haven't bare metaled it, I don't know what's underneath, so I'm trying to be a bit careful because we were also using a solvent base coat, you see, so if I go and wet it up too much, there's potential for it to react with what's underneath and pickle up and basically make a mess of it. So I'd rather leave it a couple of minutes, just let it flash off. Go back in there, I can double check any bits I can tack off in between coats to try and keep it as clean as possible. Yeah, and then when we've done that, I'll come back, show you what we're doing, and then we'll get some clear coat on it, hopefully make it look shiny. Back soon. Oh, I remember as well actually, we've had some good growth on the channel, well for me anyway, so thank you very much. Hello the new subscribers and all that sort of jazz. If you don't mind clicking the like button before you get to the end of the video, just in case you don't like the video, as James Buckley says, because you might not want to at the end. So yeah, if you don't mind, like, share and subscribe and all that wonderful stuff. I'll be back soon. Thank you. Right, back again. So now we've got all the base coat on. If I can get this tripod figured out, there we go. Sorry about that, the camera's room for further improvement with the camera work there. Hopefully you can hear me alright. So we're back in the booth. I'm going to tack off the base coat again. Then we're going to get some clear coat smashed on there. We'll show you the first layer again like I normally do, and then I'll get the second layer put on, and then we'll come back afterwards and I'll show you it all finished. So let's get the first layer on. Right, back again now. Booth's turned off, as you can tell. You can actually hear me now probably. So I've got the two layers on. The second layer I've put on nice and heavy and wet because we want a nice sort of flat glossy look to it. We are going to nib and polish it anyway because the rest of the car was, so we'll cut it back and polish it back up. As you can tell, it's red hot in here. So yeah, we'll show you round. So you can see it's all nice and glossy now. It's actually turned out quite clean, which is nice. So even though we are going to flat and polish it, work our way down the grades if you like, finishing a 3000 and then cut and polish it back, you always want it as clean as you can, which is why you see us tack clothing and cleaning and making sure your environment's good and clean. And but yeah, I mean there's probably like 3 bits in the top of that I can see, possibly 4 bits. Which is what you want, because they're easily nibbed out. If you was doing that, like I said, we are cutting it back, so it's irrelevant anyway. So yeah, that'll be that. We'll get that organised. I will try and make sure that these videos are a bit more... There's more of them, because I keep doing kind of one thing at a time with the videos, and it's very difficult to keep a consistent flow of them, if that makes sense. So you'll see some smaller stuff like this, which is like everyday stuff that we do, and then the bigger stuff, well, I'll try and make them a bit more of a, you know, possibly a longer video, but with a bit more in them, because they take the cars take a lot longer to do. So you know, I'll try and do like bits of them, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, if there's anything else you want to know, or you want to see what we're doing or anything like that, just let me know in the comments. If I haven't bored you to death, give us a thumbs up and all that sort of jazz. Skyline's still with us, anybody that's looking for that. Another video coming on that very shortly. We're just trying to get as much as the metal work done as we can on that one. Quite a bit to do as it happens, but we'll explain all that in that video. Yeah, right, so I'll catch you on the next one. Be good for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.